I think we're going live. Good evening, conscious creators. Welcome to 7 at 7 on Sunday. I'm Jean Aaron, and it's time for your mini life coach session. It's 7 o'clock on Sunday. Time for your mini life coach session. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed a beautiful weekend, a nice weekend. I think power's back on for most of us in and around Metro Atlanta. I think Cobb County got hit pretty bad as far as the power outages. So hopefully we're back in. We got power back on, and we're kind of kicked back and had a nice Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday week. Well, just had a great weekend. Anyway, I hope it was a good weekend anyway. We had a beautiful blue moon last night, a once in a blue moon. I think it was, actually it was the 100th moon, but it was the second moon in October, second moon in a month, which is rare. I understand it happens about every 19 years or so. So it's 2020, so we probably won't see it again until 2039 maybe something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a memorable weekend. A memorable weekend. I know it was holiday. It was Halloween. The kids were all dressed up, and I went to a little Halloween carnival little party with my grandsons, and had kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of fun watching them dress up like superheroes. I think they were all superheroes. Captain America showed up, and Iron Man was there, and they were all just kind of dressed up like their favorite superheroes. So it was a fun night. They got to eat a few more sweets than they normally get to eat. So I don't know how Sunday today turned out for mom and dad, but it was quiet for me because I was here by myself. But anyway, but it was a good weekend, a nice, memorable weekend. We had the time change. We got an extra hour coming up in here, Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and Eastern Standard Daylight, that time switch. I don't know if you could hear that. I was listening to, I think it was Bonnie James. I believe it was. But anyway, we just enjoy the music. We don't have any rights to it. We want to let Facebook know that, so they won't take our content down, leave it up. So, but we were just enjoying it, enjoying it. We don't have any rights to it at all. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody making it? Again, it was a great weekend. The weather turned out rather nice. It's kind of getting cool here in Cobb. Fall is here. Fall is in the air. Holiday. So holidays are creeping in on us. Several holidays are just right around the corner or two. We've got Thanksgiving, Memorial. What is it? Veterans Day. Veterans Day is coming up, and Thanksgiving, and then it'll be Christmas, and what happens after that. We've got as my favorite saying, as my favorite series goes, winter is coming. Winter is coming, and guess what, guys? 2020 will be going after we set in a winter month. So we have Christmas, and then New Year's will be coming around, and 2021, another number follows another time space follows another time space. So we get ready for a new year. But right now we're getting ready for holidays, and we're getting ready for holidays. But tonight we're getting ready for your mini life coach session. Come on in here, join us. It's going to be kind of a fun night. I'm kind of excited because I got this question, sometime during the week. I got it kind of dropped into my heart and my being. Came to me, and it was just a question. So I was working on it for myself this week. So I probably won't be sharing the answers that I came up with for myself, but I will be sharing. Excuse me, just a second. I will be sharing contacts. I have contacts on today, so I've got them off. I won't be sharing the answers to the answers that I came up for myself, but I am going to be sharing with you some of just some of the things that I kind of went through and kind of did some research on, and it kind of, as I was answering my questions, I kind of came up with the content for tonight. Hopefully, it'll be very beneficial for you. I'm going to hold on to it because it's something that I see that I can use for my clients and with my clients, because we're always talking about, that journey into self, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about a little bit tonight. How well do you know you? How well do you know Jean? How well do you know you, whoever you are out there? How well do you know yourself? So like I said, I won't be talking about how well I know me. And I won't even really be, I just want to put the question out there for you and ask you that question for just a little bit. Just put the question out there for you. But what I'm going to do tonight is kind of remind you who you are, and also give you some helpful hints or some useful information that you can use as you take that journey into your self-discovery. Like I tell everybody, I tell my clients, the best journey you'll ever take, and the most valuable journey, and the most productive journey, and the journey that's going to, do you a world of good, is that journey into yourself. Because nobody can really discover who you are but you. So, you take the opportunity, you take the time, you're with yourself all the time. You're with yourself, all 24/7. Every day of your life, you're with yourself. And you can take the time, just take the time to go inside yourself and learn and get to know you, because that's where you're going to find out who you are. It's by internalizing and going into yourself. We can look out here and see what we want to be, or who we want to be, or how we want to be, but who we are really authentically inside is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, but before I get into that, just got a few little announcements to make. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Interfaith Truth Center, and I'm actually pleased. I'm going to say hello to my friends and family over there at ITC on Austell Road, 4971 Austell Road is where they're located, and I am proud to be a part of their mission and their vision for the community. They are a metaphysical, spiritual community, as well as a metaphysical store, gift shop. They have all types of metaphysical gifts and products, and they offer a variety, a wide range of services for the community. Classes, workshops, healing, just all types of services. And I would like to invite you to visit their website, interfaith.com, where you can find their schedule of events, their schedule of services, schedule of classes, and what they're doing. I know some of the classes are meetings, some of them are meeting virtually, some of them are meeting in person with some special guidelines. So you can find all that information on their website at interfaith.com. And while you're there, if you're so inclined, let me invite you to consider making a tax-deductible donation. They are a nonprofit, spiritual, metaphysical, spiritual community organization, and you can get a tax break, a little tax write-off, a little bit if you make some donations. And I would like to ask you or remind you that if you are making a donation or a contribution as a result of the Conscious Creators group page, or Jean Aaron and our many, like the 7 at 7 on Sunday, or the Conscious Creators Toolbox on Thursday night, please let them know. Let them know that as you're browsing the website, you'll find the donation buttons. Just press that button and make a donation. But give a shout out. You let them know that you're making a donation and consideration or on my behalf, and they will give me a special little shout out and a special nod and an appreciation for me being a part of their services that they offer there at ITC, Interfaith Truth Center. So hello, everybody. I believe I am scheduled to speak on Sunday, or if not this Sunday, next Sunday, but I'll make sure I'll let you guys know that. And I invite you that if you're available on Sunday at 11 o'clock, you can also tune in to their Facebook page, Interfaith Truth Center, I believe it's called. That's the group page. Or you can probably broadcast as well on the Conscious Creators Toolbox as well, or Conscious Creators Facebook page as well. So I believe I'm speaking in, but if I'll post it if I am. If I'm doing that. I also want to invite you to. I want to do that. Invite you to kind of come back and tune in with us on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We have our Conscious Creators Toolbox, and the Conscious Creators Toolbox is an opportunity to explore, identify and explore your creative abilities, your creative powers, so that you are being the best creator and the best manifester that you know how to be. And I'd like to invite you to join us on Thursday at 7 o'clock here on Facebook Live on the group page. We just finished up talking about your individual consciousness. We did for October. We did those sessions. We had 4 sessions. I think we did 5 sessions of individual consciousness, where we talked about your consciousness, your individual consciousness, your unique individual personalized consciousness associated with the overall general, all of our consciousness, how we relate individually, and how we relate as a collective, and how we relate to our creation, and to the universe, and to Father, and to the great I am, and to God, and how having that unique individual consciousness, how we relate to the rest of the collective. So we spent a month talking about that. It was interesting. I kind of painted myself into a couple of corners a couple of times during the time, and then I realized I think the other day I was talking to a client, and I was just talking all backwards and everything, and it occurred to me that it's Mercury retrograde, and the planet Mercury has a lot to do with our communication. So that's why I was all boggled and bundled and painting myself in corners, and forgetting, and saying the wrong things and saying it backwards, and not even saying it. I was very challenged, in October because of the Mercury retrograde. But it's coming. It's gonna be straightening itself out and going forward here. I think in another few days. So watch me tonight. I don't know. I might bumble and stumble tonight because we're still in that retrograde, but I'll do my best. So anyway, let's see. Did I have anything? Next month. Actually, tonight is we're going to be talking about. What are we talking about? We're talking how getting to know yourself. Getting to know who you are, and being who you are, discovering who you are, and how you do it, and the benefits of knowing who you are. We're going to be talking about that tonight, but it's actually going to be a kickoff for next month's Conscious Creators Toolbox sessions. We're going to be doing 4 sessions next month. On Thursday, I think we have five Thursdays next month, but of course we have Thanksgiving, and we won't be here on Thanksgiving. We'll be with our families like you will be. So we won't be. But we will do the other 4. So we're going to have 4 sessions next month, and we're going to actually go into a lot more detail, a lot more. Hopefully, be able to provide you a lot more information. We're going to probably be doing some questionnaires and doing some quizzes. We're going to give you some quizzes on, ask some things that you can ask yourself and go through and kind of evaluate it and get ready to take that journey, so that you can have, like for your journaling and for your records, and for just information that will assist you in the process. Because all of us are on the journey, whether we truly devote ourselves to it, commit ourselves to it, but absolutely every day we're living with ourselves. We're with ourselves all the time. So if anything, we get to know something about us, like something, But we're going to talk a little bit more about it, about that tonight. Let's see. Do I have any other announcements? I think that might be all. Well, let's see. Yeah, I did tell you about Toolbox. And I told you about, I wanted to invite you to, go onto YouTube, find YouTube, and subscribe to the Conscious Creators channel, if you would. We're trying to build up that channel because we've got some things that we're planning for it, but we really need an audience. We need we need that. We need it for YouTube to give us a little bit more credibility and a little bit more recognition. So we're building up that YouTube. We haven't figured out how to the best way to do it right yet. So, but we just gotta, every chance I get, I'm just gonna invite you to go there and subscribe, be a subscriber, and that way you'll get at least you'll get information. You'll get a note. Get notified when we add new content to it. We haven't. We just actually right now we're just uploading tonight's 7 at 7, and we do the toolbox as well. And if we do any interviews or any special workshop or special sessions or anything, we try to record those and do those. But we're looking at maybe doing a few more things that's a little bit different, but we probably won't kick that off until after the first of the year, see how it goes with that. But let me invite you to go to there and subscribe. Subscribe and check out some of the videos there if you haven't had a chance to actually review or take a look at all of the sessions that we've recorded and all of the 7 at 7s on Sunday that we recorded, those mini sessions. Take your time and do that as well. I'm going to invite you tonight, before I even get started, I'm going to ask you if you'd like, because I've got some notes I'm going to give you. And like I said, this is actually a kickoff for November's session. We're going to be talking about the authentic you, the authentic person that you are, and what you came here for. We're going to be talking about that. So if you want to, you grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and that's going to give you some information that you may want to kind of use for later. So let me kind of get to my page here before I go any further. Anyway. Okay, it's got to be freezing. Okay, there it goes. Okay, there it is. All right, okay. So, getting to know me, getting to know you, getting to know all about yourself, getting to know all about yourself. Tonight I'm gonna actually address three questions. I'm going to try to address them. And the first one is, what does knowing yourself really mean? What am I talking about? What is it that I'm asking you, or what I'm suggesting you to do when I say, do you know you? Getting to know you. What does that mean to you? We're going to kind of talk about. I'm going to kind of answer that question for you. I'm also going to talk about a little bit about the benefits. What's so important about getting to know you, besides just knowing your name and where you live, and all your all those things that those. Your credits, so to speak. What's so important about really getting to know who you are? What's the benefit of that? And the last thing I'm going to talk about is, and that's what I really came here to do, is to give you 5 suggestions and 5 useful tips and hints or steps that you can take in that journey that you take in getting to know yourself better and getting to know who you are and why you are who you are. Anyway, I think it was Aristotle that said this, and he said, knowing yourself is the beginning of wisdom. So if nothing else, if you really get to know yourself, you'll be a wiser person. And to tell you, I think that knowing yourself is probably the first thing that we really should aim for before we even get to know anybody else. Before we get to know our neighbors and our family and our brothers and our sisters and our mommies and our daddies and our uncles and friends and pals and teachers and all those folks on the outside of us, before we even get to know them, we should have a pretty good, solid understanding and a solid knowledge about who we are, because that will help us in expressing ourselves to the people, that our family and our friends and those people on the outside of us, that external world. And it will also help us with our relationship with them. Because if we understand ourselves and we know ourselves, it actually will reduce some of the friction and some of the whatever. We can act in a way, we can act and behave in ways of who we are, so that person will react to who we express ourselves to be. So it's wise, like Aristotle said. He said it was it's beginning of wisdom to to get to know yourself. And of course, I'm not going to ever argue with Aristotle. Who am I to argue with Aristotle? So of course, I'm going to agree with him wholeheartedly. Of course, I would say that it is a very wise thing to know yourself. I always say, I tell my clients, I tell you, I express it as often as I can. The journey into yourself, the journey into your self-discovery is the best journey, and it is the most important journey any of us will ever take. And unfortunately, we do it haphazardly, and we don't do it with purpose, and we don't do it with really any real commitment for the most part. Usually we just stumble and bumble through life, trying to figure out, why is this happening, and why are they treating me this way, and why this is coming at me, and because we don't know who we are. We haven't really discovered who we are. So what am I talking about? I think it was again, I want to quote another one that I like. I like these two quotes that I really, 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 and I use them a lot. And that was to Shakespeare. Shakespeare says, "To thine own self be true." Well, if you really don't know who your own self truly is, then you can't really be true to that self or that person. And whoever it is that if you haven't discovered who you are, and you're demonstrating and you're expressing somebody else or something else other than the real authentic you, then you're not being true to yourself, and nobody else is going to be true to you, because they're going to be reacting and expressing and experiencing who you're not. So again, who am I to argue with Shakespeare? Of course, to thine self be true, but to thy true self, to thy authentic self, you should be true, and you should make every effort to get to know that true self, so that you can be true to that true self. Because we wear so many different masks, and we have so many labels, and we have so many titles, and we play so many roles that we really tend to forget. And we really, again, never really get around to taking the time to eternalize and go in and discover who we are. Okay? The only place you're going to find out who the real Gene is, or the real Bob is, or the real Tom is, or Mike, or Mark, or Virginia, or whoever, Carol, you're going to have to go inside those people. You're going to have to go inside us. You're going to inside that person, that you, that me. I'm going to have to go in to do that. And what happens is once I get an understanding and a knowledge of me and what I am, and who, and you the same, then we can come out and externalize that, or express or share who we really are, to the people on the outside of us, the external world, and to our environment. But we usually, what happens, even probably, I don't even know the percentage of the time. I guess I should look that up, and so I can be able to talk some, stats. I like to talk stats sometimes, But anyway, you can look that up, and I think that probably on the majority of the time, I would say that we wear the labels that people have put on us. They told us who we are. They told us how we are. They put this label and this title and this role on it, and they have these expectations of us. And unfortunately, we just assumed them. We just said, okay, all right, all right, I'm gonna be that. That's what you want me to demonstrate back to you. That's the experience you want to have with me. I'm gonna be that label, and I'm gonna wear this mask. But is that the real you? I mean, is that really, if you went inside and internalized, and you took that mask off, and you looked, and took that mask with you when you go in, and start looking and seeing if what you find inside is comparable or comparable to that mask that you're wearing, and those titles that were given you, and those labels that you're experiencing, you're demonstrating, you're expressing outwardly. And if they're not, then you're being somebody else. If you go in there and you don't find that mask that you're wearing, it's not there. No. It's not gonna. You've taken on a role, or you believe something, or you've adopted, or you've walked in and assumed a role, and a person, and a title, and a something that you're not. Okay, and that's not the authentic you. sometimes another thing that we do as human is we tend to externalize un- trying to get an understanding of who we are rather than internalizing. And we do that, like I said, in several ways, while allowing people to tell us, or we, just assume ourselves, or we decide that we want to mimic somebody else out externally, somebody we know, or that we want to emulate, or we want to, put on a pedestal, or we think highly of, and we think, maybe I'll be like that. Well, it's okay if they're good, good or bad, whatever, if it's cool that you want to do that. But the only problem I see with that is, if you're being that person and nobody's being you, then we's going to be minus a person, and that person is going to be that person that should be the authentic you that should be, you should be expressing, and you should be sharing and bringing out to us in the world. So just remember that. Just remember, you wear the mask. You are wearing the mask. You are assuming the roles. You are walking in those titles. You are doing and being those things and behaving those ways that other people expect of you. Ask yourself, is that really me? Is that really me? So what do I mean? What is it? So I'm kind of getting and addressing that question about what I mean. What is it that I mean when I say the real you? Getting to know who you are. Am I talking about the mask that you wear? Am I talking about the roles that you play? Am I talking about the things that you like? Your favorite color, your favorite team, your political party, or am I talking? No, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about you as that human being that came here, that was created in the image of the Creator, who came here for a specific purpose with a specific individual attribute about your individual consciousness and your individual being. It was very unique and very special, and that made you you. And that's what I'm talking about. And that goes that's beyond the surface. It's beyond what I can see. It's beyond what anyone can see other than you and Creator. You and Creator can internalize and go in and do that depth, that deep dive into yourself to really find out who you are, why you're here. You are the only person that can answer that question for yourself. You can, and that's the you that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about where you live and where you work and how much how valuable you are in money, in dollars and cents, and what you own. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm not talking about any of those labels, really, per se, that are put on you, that are, or that you have assumed, or that you're wearing as a human, as a earth person or earthling. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that core person, that being, minus all the labels and mask and all the other ticks and tags that we assume and people put on it that we take. That person that you have to go down and dig deep to find out who they are. So, what is it? How is it that? Why is it that we tend to we get here with with a certain mission and a certain purpose, and with a certain identity and a certain traits about ourselves that makes us unique, but we tend to forget. It's like we come here and we immediately go to sleep. And I know they talk about the veil. They talk about this veil that we have, and it has to do with death and birth and all that. But even though that happens, even though we tend to forget, and we kind of, the discovery of who we really are is kind of part of that awakening and that awareness of our being. When we're babies, we know we may not understand that we are aware, but we are aware, because we can start identifying things about our bodies and about our surroundings, and we understand that we're different from that. I'm always fascinated when I see kids. I saw my grandson the other day. He was laying in bed, laying there, and he was holding up his hand, and he was just all fascinated with his hand. And I could just imagine him thinking like, what is that? And I was talking to him. I said, "Yep, that's part of you. That's yours. That belongs to you, and this is mine, and that's yours." So it's kind of interesting to think about when babies come, that they're a clean slate, and we don't really remember who we are. We probably knew as that baby, we had that knowing somewhere in our being, but that veil came up, and then life started happening, and culture enculturation started taking place, and it veiled that understanding and that awareness. So consequently, we had to become aware and wake up and have another awakening. We had to awaken to that identity of and that uniqueness of who we are and why we're here. And sometimes we never do. Sometimes we live a whole life and we never really discover why we came. Why did we come to this life? Why do we want to be? Why are we here? And that's sad. That's another thing that's I feel that's sad. But the journey into ourselves is part of our evolution, or our transformation of being asleep and becoming aware and being more and more aware. And the more that we understand and we know who we are, why we are, whose we are, what we are, then we are more and more awakened and on our transformation and our evolution to enlightenment, because ultimately that's what we want. We want to be totally enlightened so that we're back to square one with the universe and with God, and we're back. We made that journey. We made that journey through understanding and being aware and being awakened and enlightened into to who we are, and understanding that we are who we are. And I think we're not going to talk about that because we talked about that last week, but it's all being that the whole process of knowing who you are and the importance of knowing who you are has to do with your awakening and your evolving as the being that you're created to be. One of the things that I always try to make sure that I do when I'm talking to my and to conscious creators in the group sessions and in Conscious Creators Toolbox is I try to remind you who you are, and that is you are an unlimited, infinite, creative being created in the image of the Creator. And you are created out of the same stuff the Creator is created out of, and you can do the same stuff that Creator can do. We, however, as individuals, came here. We were created, and we chose to come here in this time and space, in this place, in this bodysuit, in the condition that it's in, with the folk and the network that we've surrounded ourselves by. We made that choice as beings of light, long before we got here. And here we are. And consequently, we have a responsibility, if we're not aware currently, to go internalize and find and recall and remember who we are, so that we can complete our mission, complete what it is, our purpose, and why we're here. That is the number one, to me, the most important part of the reason for getting to know who you really are. And we want to know who you really are too. So that's another reason. But that's one reason. Like I said, I think Aristotle would say, he said, it's the beginning of wisdom. So of course, if one of the benefits of knowing who you are is you'll be wise. Because honestly, when you get to know yourself, that is one thing that nobody can ever outdo knowing you. You can only know you totally. Okay, I can't. You have to express that understanding to me to help me understand who you are. But you're the only person that can go internally and reside and commune with God and the universe and creation to recall who you are and to get an understanding. And then you come back to us out here in the external, and you have that wonderful relationship, because at that point, you know who you are. I don't have to tell you who you are. You don't have to struggle with me for me to help you. And you can tell me, you can help me understand, and the rest of the environment, and the rest of the world, the rest of us. So that's one. That's a benefit. Another benefit is knowing yourself will also allow you, as Shakespeare say, to be honest and to be true to yourself, to be the true you, to demonstrate and to experience and to express that true self. Because if you're running around not knowing who you are, then you're expressing that who you're expressing may or may not be who you really are, and you can't be, and you can be true to whoever you think you are, but until you know who you are, then it's kind of hard to be true to your true self. So the point, his point is, to thine own self be true. But I think he left out a word there. To thine own true self be true, because you can be true to the person that you think you're being or you think you are, but until you know who you are, then you can't be true to that true person, that true own self. Okay, so by understanding who you truly are, then you can express that in all truth and all honesty, authentically, being expressing and being true to you, and expressing that authentic self. Another thing is that when you're living and you're being and you're understanding and you know who you are, you're at peace. I mean, there's no struggle. And then because you learn, it's got to be exciting to really get to the nitty gritty, down to the bare bones, to know why I'm here. Why am I here? And to know that and to start that journey into expressing that and living that life. That's the best life. That is living your best life. It's living yourself, your true self. Is the only way to live the best life. That's paradise, in fact. It's peaceful and it's paradise to live the authentic you. You're not struggling, trying to, to cover up anything or to hide anything. What you see is what you get. I love it. And, when you get to know you can't help but love yourself. Okay. When I tell people when they're frustrated with themselves or they're angry or they're not accepting of themselves, they haven't really discovered who they really are. Because once you truly discover who you are, you will be so grateful and so at peace, you can't help but love yourself. So that's always a sign. If you're struggling with that peace about yourself, then look at going back and finding out, what is it that I'm missing about understanding who I am and knowing who I am? And ask creation, ask creator, ask God, ask the universe. Ask, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it. I can only give you advice. I cannot go inside with you to do that. That's that internal job. It's internally yours and universe and God's. I can only sit out here and be your cheerleader, be your coach, and shoo you back in. But you're the one that has to go in there and do the work. And sometimes it's scary work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's scary sometimes. That shadow work that you're doing, when you're looking at another person and that person's being that reflection of that mirror, and you go, ugh, yucks. And though that's work. That's that shadow work. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in some of the sessions during the month. So come back and we'll talk a little bit about that. So I'm not going to say it's not scary, but when you get to know that, then you've overcome that fear and you've become stronger. So another benefit, that's another benefit. It makes you strong and it makes you courageous, because you face that dark, you face the demon stuff of you, that dark part of you, that that part that's that doubtful part, that fearful part, that whatever, that part that scares you, or that you just, oh, now that I know, it's okay, it's cool. So once you get through that process, you've dismissed all the fear, you've unmantled, you've just unraveled the mystery of all of that. So you don't have any reason to be afraid anymore. Your courage, you build that courage up. Knowing yourself also allows you to live your best life, and that's what we want. We want to live our best life, because that's what we need, our best life to manifest our best life. So knowing ourselves will allow us to be that master manifester that my desire is for all of us to be, is to be that master manifester, to be that conscious manifester, that purposeful manifester. And it will allow you to do that, because you will be able to express the real authentic you through the things that you do and the things that you manifest and things that you create in your desire for your life. Because once you've realized who you really are, that's gonna maintain that connection to that higher power, that higher good, and absolutely everything that you're going to want it, that you're going to want to do, it's going to be associated with maintaining and being true to that authentic self. Okay. So those are just those are just a few reasons, a few benefits to it. There's a whole bunch more, but those are just some that I want to mention tonight. And the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about, I wanted to kind of share with you, is I wanted to give you five things that, and these are my top five things that you can do. And you may want to pencil here and kind of note these, or you can listen to the recording again and know them later. But the five things I want to give you that you can do, you can start doing right away to get to know you, to take that journey, to start that journey. I call it kind of like your traveling list. It's the list that you want to keep in the glove box with you when you're on that journey. And the first thing I want to tell you to do is to get to know your personality. Get to know that personality about your personality, not the personality that you want to compare to somebody else's. I want you look at yourself, your personality, the things that make you tick, the things that make you feel good, feel bad, feel indifferent. Look at how you behave and understand why you behave the way you do. Why do I feel the way I do? Why do I act the way I do? Why do I talk or express myself this way? Do I need to, do I need to go and look and dig a little deeper to expose some things about me? And look and see how consistent you are with the things that you do too. Am I acting like that person because I'm just with that crowd? I'm just kind of being with the crowd, or in personality, am I a leader? Am I being the leader that's in me, or am I following and I'm being uncomfortable with being a follower? Am I taking the lead and I'm okay with it? Look at your personality, the things that you do and how you feel about doing them. Another thing that you can do is to get to know your core value, your core values. Now, your core values is what I call it your guiding light principles. And those are the things that include your morals, the things that this is what I will do and what I won't do, and know why. Know why. Not because somebody else said it, or not even because grandma and grandpa and this is how it's done, and whatever. What are your core values? Because if you are following somebody else's values, guess what? When they disappear or vanish from your sight or your relationship or your life, then you're going to be lost. So you get yours. What are your guiding light principles? What are those things that your morals and your beliefs and those core things that keep you on track? And the third thing is get to know your body. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but your body is one big antenna, okay? It is an antenna, and it senses internally all your organs and all the functions that's going on in your body. It senses that, and it can communicate that information to you if you get to know and understand your body. If you haven't done that, do it. And if you have children, teach them how to do it too. Teach them how to be able to identify what's going on and how they feel and why they feel what they feel. So your body is an antenna, and it talks and it will communicate with you to let you know what's going on both internally and externally with your externally with the environment. Whether you're cold or hot, or it tells you what's going on. Your body will tell you what's going on. So get to know your body. The next thing I want to say is to get to know your dreams. Your dreams are basically your subconscious communicating with you and letting you know what's happening. And really, I'm just really kind of myself kind of starting this dream kind of journaling, because I'm the one that have a problem with waking up in the morning and remembering dreams. I mean, I know I dream, but it's like I can lay there for a few minutes and then they just kind of go away. But get in a habit of knowing your dreams. Get to know your dreams, and that way it also kind of gives you clues when you are going through a process and you can't seem to get a handle on it. If you understand that communication from your subconscious, you'll be able to backtrack and maybe resolve and solve some of your situations and your dilemmas. And the fifth thing is to get to know what you like and don't like. Now, I'm not talking about ice cream and chocolate flavors and things like that. Not so much. what is it that make you happy? What is it that make you feel good about life, about a particular situation, about your belief system, your relationships? What is it that makes you what makes you tick? What makes you happy? What are the things that that make you feel good, that make you feel bad? Understand that. Understand those things, and that's just about it. That's just about all I'm going to share tonight. And like I said, this is kind of a kickoff for next month or for November's session. We're going to be talking about the authentic you and how to get to know that authentic you and how to take that journey and some of the pitfalls that you might come with. Kind of talk about the shadow side of that journey. What you do when you meet the big bad Gene, on the way, doing that internal journey. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So be with me on that. But I just want to again to just encourage you to understand that if you are conscious, if you consider yourself a conscious, aware person, then you are definitely making an attempt at journeying into yourself and understanding and discovering who you are and why you are and what you are. You're doing that. And you may be doing it, subconsciously, or you just may be doing it just because, but you're doing it. You're doing it. And I want you to start doing it with purpose and with a list of goals that you're gonna get out of it, because you want to be able to say ultimately, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is the real Gene. What you see is what you get. I'm not sugarcoating it. I might put a bow on it or whatever, but it's what you get. So that's what you want. That's what you want people. That's what you want to present to me, and that's what I want to present to you at all times. Because I want to love the real you. I don't want to love somebody that you're trying to be. I want to love the you. That's what we want to do. So get to know yourself, and then be true to that self, so you can live that best life, so you can manifest and create every good and best thing that you want to create and want to make. So join me on Conscious Creators Toolbox this month in November as we talk a little bit more about the journey. And until then, just spend some time getting to know yourself. And as always, manifest best. Know that I love you, and I will hopefully see you on Thursday night, if not Thursday, next Sunday. Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to put a list of questions on post them sometime this week. It's going to be 8 or 10 questions that a friend of mine, I was talking to one of the coaches, and she kind of gave me some questions that I could, kind of post and present, so that we can start looking at that. You can start looking at those. So watch for that. It's going to be 8 or 10 questions that I'm going to give you to ask yourself as you're taking that journey into that internal self-discovery of you, of who you are, why you are, and whose you are. Take care. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you on Thursday. If not Thursday, hopefully see you next Sunday for your mini life coach session. I love you guys. Manifest best. Good night.